Corey, the art archaeologist, and welcome back to another Treasure Hunting Tuesday video. So this video this week is going to be quick but very powerful. So I've got my Dollar Tree squirt bottle here, and I went ahead and filled this, and I left just the tiniest bit of space in there for the rubbing alcohol, okay? So what you want to do is fill up your, I just like to fill up my squirt bottle first, and then go ahead and dump all that water in my measuring cup. That way I have the right amount. Okay, and then you want to heat this up so your coffee dissolves. I'm going to heat this up and I'll be right back. Okay, now my water's nice and hot, and I've got instant coffee here, and I'm just starting out with a half a cup of instant, and this turned out to be 3.5 cups here, almost 4 cups, 3 3/4 cups pretty much. Almost 4 cups darn near. So I've got a half a cup, and you want it nice and hot so it'll dissolve easily. This is a little bit lighter. It looks pretty good actually. You can always add more coffee if you want to later, but I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to leave that like that, and then once this cools down, I'll go ahead and pour it into my squirt bottle. Okay, now this is nice and cooled down. So you just want to go ahead and pour that all into your squirt bottle. It's kind of silly to film this part. So look at how dark you can get. I think I mentioned this in another video a ways back, and I talked about putting way more coffee than this in here, and oh, way too much. So this was just a half a cup in almost 4 cups of water. And look at that dark, rich color you get. Okay, so now that you've got all that in there, almost. Okay, that's curious. So the coffee, of course, made it, I don't know. I'll let it bubble down a little. Okay, so now that you've got that, I've got 91% rubbing alcohol. I'm sure you could get by with 70 just fine. And I'm gonna I want to fill this pipette as far as I can get this to fill up, and just drop all that down in that coffee. I'll even do a tiny bit more. I don't want to go too crazy over this. Maybe 1.5. That's probably plenty right there. This is to keep it from molding and going bad, okay? So, and now I learned this method from Robyn McClendon. She turned me on to this. I used to put all my papers in a bath on the stove with warm coffee and then dry them in the oven, and you know, it worked really well for a really long time. But now that Robyn has turned me on to coffee staining my paper this way, I don't think I'll ever go back, because this is just so much easier. So now we're going to go up to my coffee staining station, and I hope the lighting is all right. I'm not going to haul all my lights to that area of the house, so we'll do our best. Be right back. Okay guys, so here's my setup. This is just one of those fold-out tables, and I've got plastic lined between the table and the paper, and I did all the front sides of this paper. And now I've got, like I just showed you, almost 4 cups of water to a half a cup of coffee in here, and I always try to spray in towards the table. But look at how dark that is. So you can go much lighter than this, but all I do is come up in this area and spray all my papers. It's, so these papers here are, I'm not sure what they are. I think they're printer paper. I got this box at an auction, and it was full of this pre-cut paper, and it feels like printer paper to me. So I'm just using it because it's perfect for coffee stained paper. And then you just come in and spray all your stuff down just like so. And the great thing about this, I'm way over here out of frame. The great thing about this is then you can just walk away and you don't have to, if you can set up a table somewhere, then you don't have to worry. Now you want to really be careful of your flooring. This room has, I spray paint in here and do all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So the carpet is already trashed in here, so I'm not worried about my flooring, but you really want to guard your flooring doing this. And of course you can more centrally locate your paper, of course, so you're not all over the place like I am. You can grab fresh sheets too and just come in and pick up a lot of that along with all your papers. But you can come in and get some of that picked up, and you can pick up some of your extra coffee on some of the pages, whatever you like. I generally just spray everything and walk away. And then there's one other thing you can do that I want to show you that's really cool. Let's go ahead and move this real quick. So I've got this page that I've already coffee stained, and I've got my little bowl here. I'm just going to pour a little of this coffee into here. It's nice to be in an area that you don't have to worry about anything. It helps. Okay, and then I've just got this old brush here. It's a real rough bristled brush. They work best. And then you can just come in when your pages are dry. If you want some spatter, this is a great way to get it. You can shoot it down like that. You can tap your brush, however you want to do it. But you kind of got to wait for your pages to dry for that to work really well, okay? So thanks for joining me for this Treasure Hunting Tuesday, and you can get a ton of paper coffee stain. One other thing while we're at this that I wanted to tell you about. I like to, well, I want to stack my paper to coffee stain it. This is from a composition book. I tore it apart and took all the notebook paper out. So what I did was I sprayed and layered and sprayed and layered, but the problem with that is your paper gets, this is what happens to the inner papers. They just don't stain like I want them to. I want variation like this. Okay, and that's even pretty dark. So you can go a 1/4 cup of instant coffee if you wish, instead of a 1/2 cup like we did for this ratio. So stain yourself some papers and happy crafting, and I will see you soon. Hey, I'm Corey, the art archaeologist, and welcome back for another blah, 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 blah.